Alrighty, welcome back, fellas. So, we're just a few short days away from part 2 with the pre-stream for the 10th anniversary. So, before it begins, I want to go ahead right now and predict with you guys what we can see for part 2 of the anniversary itself. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the vid. If you do, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what do you want to see for part 2 of the anniversary. Let's go ahead and dive into this. So, of course, we do have the roadmap already set up here for the 10th anniversary. This is what we had when the anniversary first took place, right? So, we of course had the part 1 LRs with Super Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and the Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta. But obviously, there are a lot of other slots that have to be filled. Now, some of them have already been filled since then with units we've already gotten, so let's just go ahead and just start off just listing what we already have. So, of course, we have the Psy Banner Hercule right here, Goku right here, so we have that unit right here. Let me see if I can just find them right here. Let me see if it's going to have to be down here somewhere. There we go. So, Hercule, he's actually one of the units on the spots right there. Of course, we do have the two Super EZAs, one for the Super Vegito and one for Buhan, of course, right here. So those two got their Super EZAs. We do have two upcoming Super EZAs. They're still on the way, but they're going to be coming very soon. One is going to be for STR Super Gogeta right here, and one's going to be going for Ingenemba. So these two slots are filled. These two slots, right, this is Hercule, let's just say. One slot is going to be going for the Super EZA, Super Vegito, one for Buhan. And the last slot we know is going to be going to a free-to-play Kid Trunks. So obviously, that pretty much covers Majin Buu Saga. By the way, we do know who's going to be in here for the Dragon Ball slot right here. So this is going to be a free-to-play LR Demon King Piccolo. So far, these sections right here are already completed. We still have one slot left for the movie section right here. All three slots for Cell Saga unknown in terms of official confirmations. Planet Namek Saga, Saiyan Saga, and these three sections right here for Dragon Ball Super. So obviously a lot of stuff here, but let's just go ahead and just start listing off things that we already know. So first of all, the one thing we already know is going to happen is we're going to be getting the EZAs for the 7th anniversary Part 1 LRs. Now, in case you guys don't know who I'm talking about, I am, of course, talking about the Tech Super Saiyan God Goku and Super Saiyan God Vegeta, and the physical Super Saiyan 4s Goku and Vegeta, both of whom, by the way, who transformed. So the Tech Gods, they transform into Super Saiyan Blue and ultimately into Gogeta Blue. For the physical Super Saiyan 4s, they go into Gogeta. So, you know, we expect these two will get their EZAs probably like by the end of February. So obviously based off of that, we can tell that this slot is going to be the final GT slot going to go to the physical Super Saiyan 4s. And one of these slots will be going to the 7th year Tech God. So that stuff we already know, of course. The question is what we're going to be getting for these other slots. Now, Planet Namek Saga, you know, the obvious like expectation for a lot of people, including myself, is that we're going to be getting two EZAs, and the two EZAs are going to be for the two Worldwide Celebration characters, of course, in Namegoku and AGL Full Power Frieza. Now, these two are absolutely due for EZAs, right? They came out back during the Worldwide Celebration campaign for 2021, so it's been over 3 years, and, you know, last year when we go back to the 9th anniversary, that is when we got the Worldwide Celebration EZAs for Super Vegito and for physical Boo-Tanks, who transforms into Buhan. So, based off of that logic, it does make sense that those two will end up being the EZAs for the Planet Namek Saga section. I'm going to go ahead and lock that in right there, so I mean, if you ask me again, you know, Planet Namek Saga, we're getting the EZAs for Namegoku and for Full Power Frieza. Obviously, we do have the confirmation, not officially, but we already pretty much all know that we're going to be getting the EZAs for these two 7th anniversary LRs. So that takes care of the GT section, and that will take care of one spot for Dragon Ball Super. Now, we still have the one spot for movies. We still have all three spots for Cell Saga, and we do have Saiyan Saga and some stuff for Dragon Ball Super. So the question is, where do we go from here? Because remember, we still have not talked about what we could see for the Part 2, 3, and the 3 new LRs. Of course, you know, just like Part 1, we're going to be getting 3 Part 2 LRs. One's going to be a Dokkan Fest, 2 are going to be Carnival LRs. So we still haven't talked about who they could be. So I think at this point now we can go ahead and focus on that. Actually, before we do that, let's talk about the Saiyan Saga. Now, I don't think Saiyan Saga is going to be getting a new character at all. In fact, you know, I will say probably right now, the fact of the matter is that Cell Saga has 3 spots, Movies has 3 spots, and Dragon Ball Super has 3 remaining spots. The other two, you know, like Planet Namek Saga, Saiyan Saga, they only have 2 spots. So I think, based off of that logic, it already makes sense that Cell Saga is probably going to get a new LR, Dragon Ball Z Movies is going to get a Part 2 LR, and Dragon Ball Super is going to be getting a Part 2 LR as well. Now, I will say, the Movies Part 2 LR, we already got a leak on that, so pretty much everyone already knows who that is. I'm going to call him LR Redacted, but we know who it is. It's pretty much obvious. Even beforehand, a lot of us already knew it was going to be him, but yeah, we got confirmation that basically our Dokkan Fest Part 2 LR is going to be a Super Gogeta, or I guess technically a Goku and Vegeta who fuse into Super Gogeta most likely, but that's going to be our Part 2 LR, so yeah, I mean, we already got confirmation of that, so Movies is kind of set in the stone right there because we get the Gogeta right there. We have the 2 Super EZAs for the STR Super Gogeta and the Super Janemba, so Movies is done, Cell Saga, Super, those are left, of course, and Saiyan Saga. Now, Saiyan Saga, I will say, I think a lot of people are on the same boat, where we're all kind of expecting EZAs for the other Part 2 7th Anniversary LRs, with the Tech Saiyan, or not Tech Saiyan Day Vegeta, but Tech 7th Anniversary Vegeta right here, and the Part 2 7th Anniversary Kaioken Goku. So, these two, I think, will be getting their EZAs for the whole kind of 10th Anniversary Saiyan Saga section right there, because, I mean, it makes perfect sense. These guys are almost 3 years old as well, so they're definitely due. This is actually the wrong date, because this is for, like, the global time period, but, you know, when we look at JP specifically in our schedule now, you know, these guys they're almost 3 years old, so they're definitely due for some EZAs, and to get them to, I think that would be perfect, because, you know, they obviously are, like, opposites of each other. They fit into the 2 slots for Saiyan Saga, so I think it all kind of makes sense in that sort of specific regard. So let's just go ahead and just say that those two are going to be our EZAs for the Saiyan Saga. That just leaves us with Cell Saga and with Dragon Ball Super. So this is going to be interesting, because especially with Cell Saga, I've been saying for a long ass time that Cell Saga needs another kind of glow up. You know, the last major glow up for this was the Tech Saiyan Day Vegeta from last March, and that has been a long time since then, and even then, that wasn't the best boost for the Cell Saga category. So I think now we need a proper boost, and you know, if we're getting a Dokkan Fest Vegeta, or not Vegeta, excuse me, but the Dokkan Fest Gogeta, then obviously we're going to be getting 2 Carnival LRs, one in Dragon Ball Super, one going to be in Cell Saga, and if we remember, the themes for the Carnival LRs, one is going to be family, and one is going to be rivals. So I think based off of that logic, we already know where the Cell Saga idea should go to, and Cell Saga for me, I think we should be seeing a Carnival LR Gohan of some capacity. Now, I don't necessarily know exactly how they're going to frame this. They could do a standalone Gohan, and he just goes into Super Saiyan 2, Family Kamehameha, of course, not actually Family Kamehameha, but more like Father-Son Kamehameha with Goku. Or what they could do is, and actually I hope they do this, by the way, we could see a Bye Guys Goku. We don't actually have a premium summonable Bye Guys unit Goku, right? So we could see a Bye Guys Goku who goes into Gohan, who ultimately does the whole kind of Father-Son Kamehameha. So if you ask me, I think that is going to be who we will see for the whole kind of Cell Saga section in terms of the premier unit. So that's what I'll say right there. I'm going to go ahead and kind of lock that idea right there in terms of like the main premier unit. It's probably going to be some form of a Gohan who does the Father-Son Kamehameha, so that's going to be really awesome, of course. And then that leaves us with the question of what is going to be for these two sections, because a Carnival LR, that's going to be by himself. So there's 2 missing things for Cell Saga. It could be 2 EZAs, or it just could be Super EZAs or something. I know a lot of people are saying that we could see a Super EZA for a very old unit all the way down here with Tech Cell. So Tech Cell, I mean, his EZA is old, right? His EZA is back in 2018. He is certainly due for a Super EZA. But at the same time, you know, it's kind of interesting, because if Cell gets a Super EZA, for me the question then becomes, who is the one other unit? Is it going to be another EZA? Is it going to be a Super EZA as well? We really don't know for sure in that sort of regard. So that's what I'm kind of curious about, I'm kind of confused on. I've heard some people suggest the idea that maybe, just maybe, we'll get the Super EZA for one of the first LRs with the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan right here. So we may in fact get 2 more Super EZAs. Honestly, I would be here for it, because that would be honestly pretty dope. But, you know, I don't know if we're going to get 2 Super EZAs, so let's just assume those are 2 ideas. I will say, I think Tech Cell, I think he will get a Super EZA. I think that one is pretty much kind of, like, for certain, because he is on the new EZA banner with, like, Super Gogeta and Janemba in them, so I'm pretty sure, you know, Tech Cell is going to get a Super EZA. But then who's going to get their EZA? Honestly, we have different options. I think, you know, Trunks could be a great idea. Of course, the Tech Androids could be there. The LR Future Gohan / Trunks right here, they could get an EZA, so bunch of different ideas. You could go with Golden Week for 2022, give us Goku / Gohan right here maybe, give us Cell. I think there's a lot of like different opportunities right there, but I think if I have to pick one specific idea, I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of fixate on the good side, right? Because we got Tech Cell with the Super EZA most likely. I'm going to go ahead and say give us the EZA for the AGL transforming Trunks, because I think he probably needs the EZA the most of all like the different Cell Saga units. So if he gets his EZA, I think that'll be a nice kind of boost, of course. And yeah, I mean, I think with that in mind, I think that's how you're going to go ahead and see the Cell Saga kind of form up. Again, we'll probably see a Part 2 Carnival LR Gohan, like Family Kamehameha, or not Family, but Father-Son Kamehameha. I can't get away from the family. Father-Son Kamehameha, probably a Super EZA for Tech Cell, and probably an EZA for maybe like the AGL transforming Trunks. So I think that's what we'll see there, and that just then leaves us with Dragon Ball Super. Now remember, we already have the Tech Gods taking a spot right here, so the question is who's going to be in the final 2 spots. So again, we could end up seeing some form of a Dragon Ball Super, like we're going to see one Part 2 LR, probably a Rivals kind of LR, but also we may see an EZA as well. So I think for me, like, let me go ahead and address some of the ideas that some people have been sharing. So I've seen a lot of people kind of clamor on the idea that we may finally see a Goku and Frieza, right? We've already had a Goku and Frieza in the past, like an LR, but I think people are saying we may see another new Goku and Frieza, right? So that would be very interesting. I will say, I'm actually kind of excited for that as a possibility because of the idea that this unit could be a boost for the current 10th anniversary Super Saiyan Blue Evolved Vegeta. This unit is not necessarily that great in terms of slot 1 work and everything. If Go Frieza were like the Part 2 LR, if he were to come in and be Part 1, or not Part 1, but he was able to be slot 1, then that would be a massive boost for this category, for this team, everything. So I honestly could see this being a nice kind of boost if we get a Part 2 Go Frieza for one of the LRs. Another idea I've seen kind of circulating, if you will, kind of focuses on superheroes more specifically, and really it's another Orange Piccolo, and more specifically I should say like a standalone Orange Piccolo, not, you know, Power Awakening and Orange Piccolo, but like actually Orange Piccolo. So that's kind of an interesting idea. I will say, you know, some people are kind of focusing on this idea because it is a rival, right? Piccolo's a rival to Goku. I understand where they're coming from. I just don't know if that's what the solution is going to be. I don't think that's going to be what's going to happen. I just don't see Piccolo being the option, you know. Is not to say the Piccolo can't be the option. I just, like, when you think about Go Frieza and Orange Piccolo, they're like on different levels of anticipation, I feel like, for a lot of people. Obviously, we already have the Piccolo right here, who's going to get his EZA probably sometime later this year, so I don't know if Piccolo is going to be the one to show up for our Part 2 LR. But I will say, you know, that's a fair idea for sure in terms of a rivalry kind of thing. But yeah, if you're asking me, I think Piccolo is on like the less likely kind of a likelihood of being like the Part 2 LR. So I think that's what I'll say about Piccolo. One idea that I'm going to go ahead and kind of promote here, I don't think this will necessarily happen, but if we're going to go ahead and do rivals, let's just go ahead and just kind of point them out there. Actually, let me go ahead and look at worthy rivals, might as well, because that's, I think, a better kind of a focus here. Why not give us a Part 2 Carnival LR Beerus? I'm not gonna lie, give us a Beerus, because Beerus, he should technically be in Dragon Ball Super, right? That's the wrong theme right there. He should be in Dragon Ball Super, so, I mean, if he's in Dragon Ball Super and we get a Part 2 Beerus, I think that works perfectly fine. He could work in Realm of Gods, maybe, could do something crazy right there. So I think we could see a Beerus. I'm not sure if that's going to be the most likely approach because, to be frank, I mean, I don't know if Beerus is hype enough for a lot of people to say he's going to be a good Part 2 LR. But my hope is it could be a Beerus with a Hakai, because that would be pretty badass. And who knows, maybe it'll get some people to come back, hashtag rhyme style. So, not even hashtag rhyme style, what am I saying? But you know what I'm saying. You know, Beerus is the first, like, major rival of the whole Dragon Ball Super show. So I think he, apart from Vegeta, so I think he could be a good kind of like opportunity for them to bring in a Beerus, make him good and everything. So I think that would be a pretty awesome idea. You see a lot of other characters like Yamcha, Piccolo, Vegeta and all of them, the Gammas. I don't think any of these guys are going to go ahead and be our Part 2 LR. I just think some of them don't have the motion like Tien. I don't think he's going to be a Part 2 LR. No offense to Tien fans, but he's just not going to be there. Vegeta, we already have one. I don't think we're going to get a second one. But yeah, if you ask me, I think the three ideas kind of boil down to Orange Piccolo, Beerus for me personally, and Go Frieza. And between the three, I will say I'm probably going to go ahead and just say, give us a Go Frieza. I think Go Frieza is probably like the best choice in terms of like overall hype. But if we're not going to go for Go Frieza, give me Beerus. Beerus is who I'm going to go ahead and say I want on this specific section for the whole Dragon Ball Super Part 2 Carnival LR as far as like the rivals kind of theme is concerned. So that's what I'll say there. As far as the EZA is concerned, or like the Super EZA, that is where things get very interesting because honestly, I mean, there's a lot of options. Let me go back into like superheroes and everything, right? Because superheroes is a good way to kind of look at things. You know, there are a few characters who could get some nice Super EZAs and everything, like, you know, for example, Vegito Blue, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku right there, of course, so characters like them could get a Super EZA, in Super Saiyan Blue Evolve, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, it's not Super Saiyan Blue Evolve, but the in Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta could get it from the Future Saga, whatever, Tech Vegito Blue, you know, the in Sword of Hope Trunks, so there's some opportunities there for Super EZAs. I probably would say, like, the Super EZAs is probably the way they should go, as far as, like, Dragon Ball Super, but who knows, they could do a bunch of other options as well. We really don't know for sure. That one, I will say, the final EZA spot is the one that I am not entirely sure on. In fact, Dragon Ball Super as a whole, that is where I'm not entirely certain. I am 100% confident, or like, let me not say 100, I am 95% confident we're getting a Cell Saga Gohan. I am 100% confident we're getting a Gogeta, because that was leaked. So, the only thing that's not sure for me is this section right here. I think Go Frieza is most likely, but also, I think we may end up seeing some sort of Beerus or something, and then for the Super EZA or the EZA, that part I just don't know. It could be anything. And honestly, there's so many different ideas for sure that honestly, I have no clue. Maybe, who knows, if we're getting a new Go Frieza, maybe we could get a Super EZA for this Goku and Frieza, because their EZA is kind of old as well, right? 2021, so not the oldest EZA, but I mean, it would be kind of thematic, so who knows, maybe we could see that as well. But honestly, we have to wait and see what they're going to do. We have to wait to see how they're going to confirm things and do things for us. We obviously have a lot of this board figured out and filled in terms of what we know should be coming for EZAs and everything. But I mean, still, it's nice to wait and see. Who knows, maybe they're going to throw some curveballs out our way. Maybe it'll be very interesting. But honestly, I'm very excited for this, and I can't wait to see what the part 2 of the anniversary has to hold, because I'm sure it is going to be an absolute banger. But that's going to be where we have to end the vid. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the vid. If you did, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Again, comment down below, what do you want to see for part 2 of the anniversary? Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.